Well, hello guys, Cosmos here. Today we're going to do a Helldivers tutorial. I see the game hasn't been getting up to about 100k players here lately, so I figure a bunch of them might be newer players and wanted to make a tutorial video to help you guys out so you can jump in the game and have lots of fun spreading democracy right away. So, I think we're going to jump into the tutorial and I'll show you guys how to do that. Yay, training facility. So once you get up to that, just run to the right. Alright, so once you jump down in here, there's two ways to do this. You can either hit C to crouch, or you can hit Z to lay down. Or crouching's all you have to do, it's a little faster. And then you just hit, when you start out, it'll be automatically put on where you can run up these things, but I have mine off, so I have to hit my space bar. So if you turn that off, remember, hit space bar to get over stuff. So this spot here, you can definitely get killed. So what you want to do is you hit Alt to dive, like that. And then you want to stand up again, hit like C or something, or just run. So we're going to dive on in there, and you see they start shooting machine guns at you. So if you stand up, you definitely get killed.
There it is.
Alright, so they gave us a nice little pistol. Right click to aim. If you hit the middle mouse wheel, you can aim like this. R to reload. And just unload on him.
Use a grenade to close up that bug hole. Otherwise, they'll just keep coming.
Yeah, grab your grenades. Now, grenades aren't that easy to throw, but what you want to do is look up a little bit and then hit the G button. There we go, we got it in.
What a catapult of an arm.
And if you hold the button, they'll do what's
section.
called cook the grenade. Then you can throw it and it'll blow up a little bit earlier. So what you want to do is you hit control, and you'll see up there at the top is giving us an orbital precision strike. So all you gotta do is hit your keys right, up. Throw that bad boy right in the middle of them, and watch them all blow up. Woo! Take that, buggies. Now, one thing you gotta be careful for is if you stand underneath this and that thing hits you, it will kill you. So make sure you don't do that. Alright, well, just got done with the tutorial. So the next thing you probably want to do is if you want to play with friends, you go hit 0 and go up. That'll take you right to the social tab. All you gotta do is if you know your friend's name, just type it right here in the search thing, and then you can send them an invite. If you go here to recent players, anybody you played with recently will show up here. Friends requests are right there, blocked players right there, of course. So the next thing is when you come onto your ship, you come out of this area right here. What you want to do is come here, walk right behind this person, and this is where all your strategy unlocks are. So your destroyer doesn't really do anything other than if you want to name your ship, you go over to here, hit R, you can name your ship whatever you want. Well, actually, I guess you can. It'll give you a list of like the different things that you can put together there. Alright guys, let's go over what strategies you want to unlock first here. So obviously you get the machine gun for free, which as you see in the video and what you've seen in your training, it's a very good machine gun. The only thing that's bad about it is it has a long reload time. When you go to reload, if there's any enemies around, you want to switch to one of your other weapons, take them out, and then reload. Anti-materiel rifle, this here is a very, very good weapon for unlocking early. It can take out medium and light enemies quite easily. The only problem with it is it doesn't have much ammo in it. Hey, talking about ammo, if you want to have a gun with lots and lots of ammo, right here's your toy, the Stalwart. It has light armor penetration, so it won't do very well against the medium stuff, but anything light, you can just absolutely light them up. You can shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. I think it has like 250 round magazine or something like that. So if you're usually I recommend for newer players to pick this one up as one of their first ones. It's pretty darn good. So let's go down here to the orbitals. So your orbital Gatling barrage, that is a very, very good strategy to pick up. As you see there, it hits like in an area. What you gotta be careful of, make sure you're not in that area, because it will definitely kill you. But if you have if you see like a bunch of bugs coming at you, throw that right in front of them, and as they walk into it, it'll just absolutely light them up. All right, let's go down here and check out some eagles. So the eagle strafing run, I'm not really a huge fan of it, but it does do the trick. The one thing that's nice about the eagles though is you see down here where it says cooldown time 8 seconds, and you got 5 uses of it. So what that means is every time you use it, you only have to wait 8 seconds before you get another one back, so you can spam them pretty quick. When this says 5 uses, it's actually a little misleading because all of the eagles have a thing called eagle rearm. Once you're out of all your eagles, the fighter plane will fly back to the base and rearm, and then you'll get all of them back again. So eagles are really, really good for that. Like this Gatling barrage is unlimited as well, but it takes a whole minute and 10 seconds for it to come back, which isn't bad really. Eagle airstrike, if you're gonna pick one, I would pick this one. Let me see here. The Eagle airstrike, if you're gonna pick one of these two, I'll go with this one first. Alright, orbital precision strike. Now this is the one you get right out the gate. This is the one that you used in your training. So the good thing about this one is you see down here the cooldown time's 90 seconds. That's a minute and a half. That's not too bad. And it's a very, very powerful shot. Anything that hits, just about anything you hit with that, it will kill, except like the really, really big stuff. Like if you get a direct hit on them, it will kill them. But it's hard to get that direct hit on them. You can actually throw your strategies, and sometimes the ball will stick to the enemy. If you can do that, it will usually hit them. Orbital gas strike. This is another pretty good one. As you see, it puts out a cloud of gas and it just chokes the enemy to death. It even works on robots. It like dissolves their armor. Yep, fall over robots. The only thing you gotta watch out with this one is that it's definitely a team killer. You know what I mean? You throw it next to a friend and they get into it, boop, they go down. Like it kills you pretty quick too. Alright, let's go down to the engineering bay. So as far as these two, I would avoid the anti-personnel minefield unless you're playing solo. But even then, they don't really do that great. Like, the enemies will run into them and blow them up like you're seeing in the thing. But generally, like 1 or 2 little bugs will walk in there and blow up all the freaking landmines, and then all the rest of them will just charge right on through. If you're going to take anything from this at lower level, take this right here, supply pack. This thing works absolutely great. When you're using it for yourself, you hit number 5 on your keyboard and you can give yourself more supply, or like do what he's doing. Run up to a buddy that's running out of ammo and hit E on him and it'll give him supply. Alright, let's go down here to the robotics workshop. The only thing you can get out of here is the machine gun sentry. Now this machine gun is the exact same machine gun that you have, and it works just as well. If I were going to pick up something that right away in the beginning, this would definitely be a good one to pick. You do have to watch out for all sentries or team killers. Like if you run in front of that while it's shooting, it will 100% light you up. Like it won't even care. You know what I mean? So if you put your sentry down, get behind it, try to keep the sentry in between you and the enemy. That way it doesn't kill you. Alright guys, when you're done looking at your stratagems, what you want to do next is come over here. Now, you as a new player, you're not going to have anything in here, but this is where you would go through and change like your armor set, any weapons that you might have and you want to use, pick them in here. Your secondary, that's like your pistols and stuff, and your throwables, all your grenades. If you go over to here, you can customize your character. All these emotes here, if you want to use any of these, you click on it, hit equip, and then when you're out, you just hit the B button. That's right, salute! That's how you use your emotes. Boosters are all the second, like I'll show you when we get over to the mission map, but these are the little helpful things that give you little bonuses. If you go over here to career, it'll show you your total amount of stuff that you did. Like I killed 124,000 enemies, 66,000 termitids, 40,000 automatons, friendly kills 70. Yeah, try not to do that. But yeah, it'll give you like all the nice little stats that you did throughout your time playing. If you guys want to look at mine, there you go. You go here to victory pose. This is how you pick if you want a specific one. I always just do random because I like seeing all the nice little random ones that I do. The way you unlock these is you go to your war bond, which I'll show you guys next, and they'll have them victory poses in there. So next is player card. All that is this background. Doesn't really do much anything for you. But if you want to mess with that, you just go through here and pick whichever ones you want. Then over here is your titles. You'll start out as a cadet, but as you rank up, you'll unlock all these different ones that you can get. You can eventually get up to, you know, like, I'm only level 66, but you can get a lot. Like here, this one here, it says Fire Safety Officer. That's one that you get through a war bond. There's a few of them that you can get through war bonds. But yeah, that's pretty much it for here. If you hit the R key, where it says at the top of the screen, acquisitions, this is where you go into your war bonds. So you're gonna have this one for free. The Helldivers Mobilized. Now this is actually a very good war bond. We'll go through some of the stuff in here. When you're fighting the bugs, this SG-8 Punisher, this is a very good shotgun for the bugs. What you want to do is hit tab, and it'll bring you up and it'll show you all what it's capable of doing. Light armor penetration, rounds reload. What that means is that it doesn't have a magazine, it's just load individual shells. Damage, that's really good damage for about any gun, 405. It'll range from anywhere from like 50 to 450. And then capacity is how many rounds you have. Recoil, this is an important stat because what happens when you shoot, the higher the recoil is, the longer it'll take to get your aim back to the center spot again. And fire rate is exactly what it sounds like. It's how fast you can shoot the gun, which 80 isn't all that great. Important thing here, this is super credits. You look at the top corner there, the blue one is super credits. That little icon next to it is your medals. The medals are what you use to unlock all this stuff. Super credits are what you use to buy a new war bond. Unless you want to spend some cash buying super credits, when you go to this superstore, don't buy anything in here because all this is just regular. All this armor is pretty much the same as what you can get out of the war bonds, and it just wastes money. And you can get these from playing the game. Like you don't have to buy them. You know what I mean? This is where you get your also like your victory poses. This is your armor. Do the same thing with the weapons. You hit tab, and it'll open up and tell you what it is. So this is scout armor. As you see, the armor rating is not too good, but your speed and stamina regen are very high. So that's very good armor for if you want to move around a lot. Under here, it'll say armor passive. Just about every armor has something on it. This one makes it so that if you place a mark on the map, which I'll show you guys here later, it'll put a scan down. It'll show you how many enemies are in that area. And then reduces range at which enemies can detect the wearer by 30%. Now that's actually really, really good. But what you want to do is it doesn't work that well when you're just standing. But if you crouch or lay down, it helps hide you a lot more. So once you get done looking at that stuff over there, come over to the Galactic Map. So I was in a mission there, so I'll show you guys here some stuff. So over on the right here, it'll tell you everything that's going on. If there's a major order, what the major order needs you to do. At the bottom of the major order will give you how many medals we would get for completing the mission. So those medals, regardless if you were playing the game or not, if we win the mission, you get those medals. So that's very nice. Like if you decide to not play for a few days and a major order happens and we win it, well, you get those medals right away and you can use them in your war bonds. Down below that is your personal order. As far as I know, everybody gets the same personal order. But those are nice to do because you'll get those extra 15 medals. When you're a newer person, you definitely want those to be able to unlock stuff. Down in the middle here, where it says Extreme, that's the difficulty level you're picking. Hit Q and E to change those. I believe when you first start out, all you're going to be able to do is easy. You can also do trivial as well. I wouldn't even bother with trivial. It's probably just like, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's way too easy. But let's go click on some planets here. We'll move over onto the bug side. See what we got going on. So what you want to do is, say you pick your planet. Say we want to pick this planet here. What you want to do is you look down on the right side there and it says Effects. Hit the C button and open that up. So this place has fire tornadoes and intense heat. Fire tornado is exactly what it sounds like. It's literally tornadoes of fire. As a new player, if you see something like that, I would leave that one alone. That's a very sucky planet to fight on. Where it says intense heat, what that does is it makes your stamina drain faster. And if you're using laser weapons, it'll make it so that they overheat faster. So we go over to, say, a planet like this. Now this one, ion storms. This one isn't too bad. Storms will come by every once in a while that'll disable your strategies. Which that sucks when that happens, but it usually doesn't last too terribly long. Every single planet has some kind of modifier on it. Some are worse than others. Like this one here, torrential rainstorms reduces visibility. If I were a newer player, I'd pick a planet like this. Those rainstorms don't really reduce visibility too much. And other than that, like nothing, it doesn't do anything to stop you, like slow you down or anything like that. Alright, so here we're on the selected mission map. Now if you take your mouse and just move up, down, left, right, you can scroll around the map. And if you look carefully here, you see how this part of the map's brighter, and then we go over here, this part is darker. What that means is this is literally the dark side of the planet, nighttime. This is the light side of the planet. Make sure you keep that in mind when you're playing. I hate playing in the dark, so I always try to pick one that's on the light side here. It makes a huge difference to how much you can see. Like there's certain planets when it's dark, it's like pitch black and you can barely see 10 feet in front of you. You don't want that. It makes it very, very hard on you. So let's go ahead and pick this mission. Now what you want to do is you see there where it says it's showing like a little symbol. When you click on it, it'll bring you on in, and you can see where here it says eradicate termitid swarm, kill termitids, defend their numbers. That'll tell you exactly what the mission is about. That mission's a little bit on the hard side for a newer player, but there's usually not too many bugs at this level, so you can probably do that without too much problem. Basically what it is you'll land on the ground and you have 15 minutes to kill a certain amount of bugs. You go over here, this is a good one for a newer player. Raise a flag for democracy. Woohoo! So let's click on this and I'll show you guys what's going on.
FTL jump to the Akamar system.
Yeah, when you click on it, it'll warp your ship over to wherever that place is at. Now, once you did that, what you want to do is you get in your Hellpod. All you gotta do, any one of these will work. There's 4 of them for 4 players. Doesn't matter which one you get into. Now, from here, this screen here is very important. So, what these symbols mean here, this is extraction. So you just hover over it and it tells you what it is. And this is the primary objective. Now, sometimes there'll be secondary objectives out there as well. When you get to higher levels, they'll show up in blue. Now, what you might be seeing these red dots here. See where it says danger, enemy presence? The reason why those are red like that is that's where the enemy nests are. It's bugged on the bug side, it's nest. On the robot side, it's their fabricators. It's literally the same thing. You can call it robot nest if you want. It's literally the same. Now, what you want to do is you'll pick a spot on the map. Usually it's a good idea, especially when you're beginning, to pick a spot where it doesn't say enemy presence. And you also want to be careful, like even though it doesn't say enemy presence right here, chances are when you drop in, there's going to be enemies really close. So I'd pick a spot like over here somewhere. The other thing another thing to worry about when you do this is, so when the enemies spawn, they will spawn out of their nest. They have like patrols that come around, and then there's also static enemies. Static enemies will always be in these nests, and they will be usually on your objective, and they'll also be on little like side things that are in the game. I'll show you guys them when we get down. If you see a bunch of enemy nests next to the evac like this, I would highly recommend taking those out because it'll make your evac a lot easier. The other thing to keep in mind, once you complete the objective, the enemies will start coming really hard after you. So try to do as much of your side stuff as you can before you hit the main objective. You have 40 minutes in most missions to get that done. Make sure you have 10 to 15 minutes left to do the main mission so that you can get it done. This is the most important thing to get done for spreading democracy. You know what I mean? If you fail on doing this, you can't get any progress towards liberating the planet that you're fighting on. Alright, so here we are getting ready for our mission. What you want to do, if you go to here, this is how, if you forgot to go to the weapons locker, you can do all your things right in here. All you gotta do is click on a spot, it'll load up your weapons, and just pick the one that you want. We're taking our Liberator, we're taking the new pistol, and the basic grenades. Then you go back over here to strategies, and you just click on one of the squares. This will bring up your strategy list. I believe the only thing you'll get when you guys are starting is the machine gun and the orbital precision strike. Make sure you take both of them. Over here, this little hexagon area, this is where when you pick up boosters, this is where you use them at. You go up here, just scroll over it, and it'll tell you exactly what it does. And then when you think you got everything ready to go, you just hit that B button. Bam, we get ready to go in game.
Initiated.
Alright, so when you're landing like that, you can use your direction keys, you can move your Hellpod around a little bit. That way, if you don't want to land on like top of a mountain or something, it can kill you if you fall off from too high. So the first thing you want to do is land on the ground, hit control, and call out whatever support weapon you got. So we're going to call our machine gun down. There we go, got a nice machine gun. Alright, this is how you use the map in the game. Hit tab and it'll bring up your map. If you hold your right click button, you can move this around on the map. And then if you say, you see like this place here, you want to move to there, just right click on it and it'll put a mark there. You see those red dots coming at us? That's a bunch of buggies coming to fight us. So usually you want to avoid your patrols.
Get some!
But since
Get some!
you see how he did that? That's he was trying to call in a reinforcement. Anytime you see one doing that, kill him first. You guys see that yellow flashing in the distance? Always go do them too. That's where you get like your side stuff. I'll show you guys then. Alright, buggies coming for your nest. When you're using this machine gun, it's good to crouch, because it makes you a lot more steady on your aim. Well, he got his bug call off, so that means there's a bunch more of them about to come in. The other thing about this game, if you shoot them in the legs and stuff, it does indeed slow them down. Oh, one snuck up on us. So here we got a bug breach going.
Prepare to exterminate.
So anytime you see a bug hole like this, just run up to it with your grenade, throw a grenade in it. Just like in the training video. Yay, and we completed a side objective.
Say hello to democracy!
One thing about this game, always stay moving. Don't stand in one spot for too much. Enemies like to sneak up behind you a lot. Then what you want to do is after you clean out an area, always run through and look for these things. It's called samples. So we're going to pick our sample up. One important thing about the samples, if you look up in the top right there, that's where all your sample, it tells your requisition slips, experience gain. Samples are shared between everybody, so it doesn't matter who has the samples. When you get off the planet, everybody shares the same samples. So don't feel like you didn't get any samples that you're not doing well. Alright, see this patrol coming? If you go and hit Q on them, you can mark them so that other people know that they're coming. You can also do it for yourself so you can see where they're at. Now you see how they were looking at me? They didn't see me yet. So I'm going to sneak away from them. That's a good thing to do because engaging with patrols constantly will eventually get you killed. If you crouch or lay down, that's the way you stealth in this game. Then you'll see when you come up on these spots, there's all kind of little stuff laying around like ammo, stims. Do this thing, you just hit E, go salute it, and open it up. Hey, look at that, we found a stalwart. So you can find weapons, requisition slips, medals, all kind of good stuff in here. If you want to try out new weapons, that's a good way to find them on the little side objectives. And you see here, there's like a door. What you want to do is take your grenade, throw it right at the bottom of the door. Step back so you don't blow yourself up. And there you go. And then you walk on in. We got some requisition slips. And there's an arc thrower in there. Now I'm not going to bother with the arc thrower. That weapon is okay, but it's not the best. Here you can grab a shotgun. That's just like a really, really basic shotgun now. I wouldn't bother with that. Alright, so these guys here, you'll see them. You can't shoot them in the face. See how there's like a spark coming off of it? That means your bullets ain't penetrating. So you want to shoot them in the sides where you can actually hit them.
Mag's empty!
Alright, mag's empty. Usually when you're lots of bugs are on you like that, you don't want to reload your secondary weapon, switch to your primary. The way you do that is hit 1 for your primary, 2 for your pistol, 3 for your sport weapon. And then 4 will bring out your grenades. But if you hit G, you can just use the grenades without having to do that. Oh, they got me. So whenever you die, if you look in the top left corner there, that'll show you how many reinforcements you have. And when you're playing solo like this, it'll automatically shoot you down. But you won't get to choose where you're dropping at, which sucks. Whenever you die, just if you hit control on the map, it'll show you where your stuff is. And if you're having trouble finding it, just right click, left click, scroll over to it, right click on it, and that way you can find your stuff easier. Alright, so here we got some bug holes. I wanted to show you guys some tips here. If you use this orbital precision strike, just throw it right in a hole. You can blow up the bug holes with that. This should take it out. Yep, there it goes. Another way, say you don't have any strategies or grenades, go up here and use your like resupply. Got down, down, up, right. Throw it right here at the top of the, right next to the bug hole. You don't want to throw it in the bug hole though, but that will also take the bug nest down for you. Watch out, bug, you're about to get killed. There you go, you see how it went down? You can also do, say you have like an extra machine gun like I do here, you can do the same thing with your machine gun. Start right next to the hole, and it'll close it for you. So just keep that in mind when you're playing. There we go, we got it. So I'm going to throw a machine gun sentry out. Show you guys how that works. It's really good to do when there's a bug breach like this. Get out of here, you hobby bastards. You see how the machine gun just does everything automatically on its own. You see how it almost shot me there? You gotta be careful if the bugs get close to you, it'll freaking shoot you. Wow, it about took me out twice. Behave, machine gun. If you look down there in the middle of the screen, there's that little yellow skull that popped up and tell you your kill streak. Looks like they took my machine gun down. There we go. Alright, now that that's done, usually when the mission's done, the best thing to do is go right for the evac. Once you get a little bit more experience, you can probably take on stuff without having to worry about that. But I would recommend you just run for evac right away after a mission's done. Usually if you can get far enough away from your enemies and just crouch down, that'll break them from following you. Alright, so what you want to look for, if you see that blue beam of light coming down, that's where extraction's at. You don't have time to look out on the map. Other than that, it'll be white before the mission's over, and it'll be orange when the mission's ready to be done. So what you want to do when you get to evac, go over and hit control. Any strategies that you have that you can call down, go ahead and call them down right now. As soon as you hit this button, the enemies will start freaking coming as hard as they can. So we're going to call down a resupply too. And then we're going to call in that old Pelican. There you go. You look down there, it'll show you the timer. If you look in your top right, it'll also show you your timer. It takes about 2 minutes for these lower level missions. You can get missions up in the higher levels that take as long as 4 minutes, depending on what's going on. One thing you want to watch out for is that the Pelican's going to land right here. So if you're standing here, when that comes down, it'll freaking land right on top of your head and kill you. Get out of here, bug. Pelican has a gun on it, it'll help clear some of the enemies out. And all you gotta do is run up to the ramp and hell dive in. You don't have to dive, but I like to do it that way.
Another victory for the right side of history.
So this part here will tell you everything that you did. The top's the main objective. The optional objective, we didn't find that. But then this will tell you 1 star. That's the more stuff you do, the higher ranking it'll give you. There's your squad payout, samples, currency, medals. This last part will tell you how much squad impact you did. That's how you, when you complete an operation, that's how you tell how much you helped liberate the planet. So when you do higher level missions, there'll be 2, 3, and on the very high level, sometimes even 4 different objectives you gotta do, and then there'll be always 2 to 3 different missions you have to complete before the whole operation is done. Yep. There's my guy, absolutely covered in bug guts. And then here on your last thing, you just hit stats. Hit stats, it'll tell you what you did. 251 kills, 50% accuracy, 2 deaths. Some of these things are some of these things aren't accurate, like stratagems used. I definitely didn't use 14. But that's not a really important one anyway. Samples was always right. I believe deaths and kills always seem to be right. Accuracy and stuff's usually right. And you just click, when you're done looking, just click return to ship.
There's nothing sweeter than victory in the name of freedom.
Now when you're done, it's usually a good idea to come over here and check your ship management. Ship modules, this is where you use your samples. Stratagem, this is where you use your requisition slips. Once you get higher level, like I am, you barely even need your requisition slips anymore. And for your medals, of course, just hit R. Go to the mobilized war bond. See if you have anything worth breaking out. But alright guys, I think we're going to call this an end of a tutorial. I hope it helps you new people get in there and get ready to spread lots of democracy. Woo! For Super Earth!